Your little brook is now under control, Captain. The words slithered out with the kind of smug superiority only someone who's never faced real pushback could muster. They came from Susan Whitaker, the freshly minted president of our homeowners association. She planted her feet wide, hands on her ample hips, a victorious grin splitting her face. Her oversized frame was squeezed into a garish magenta jogging suit that clashed violently with the earthy tones of my backyard. Between us, baking in the relentless afternoon heat, stood a neat fortress of beige sandbags, 3 feet tall, spanning the full breadth of the modest natural stream that marked the boundary between my sprawling 5 acres and her tidy suburban plot. This wasn't merely a blockade. It was an act of aggression. A quiet fury ignited in my chest, the kind I'd honed to a fine edge during my tours in Afghanistan. But I kept my expression neutral. I'd hung up my boots as a captain in the Army Corps of Engineers after 3 decades, focusing on hydrology and infrastructure. I didn't just neighbor this stream. I knew its rhythms, its surges and retreats, its vital role in the land's balance. I'd chosen this property for it, engineering my home's base, my grading, my runoff systems to harmonize with its timeless course. And now this suburban despot, clutching her sheaf of regulations, had plugged it. "That's no little brook, Susan," I replied, my tone steady as steel. "That's a federally protected perennial stream. You just broken the law." Her grin wavered for a heartbeat before her self-assurance roared back. "The HOA rules you signed off on, Mr. Reynolds, demand that all water elements stay within lot lines. Your stream was spilling over. I fixed it. I'm safeguarding our neighborhood's worth from your wild mess." The sheer nonsense of it, misapplying a guideline for backyard fountains to dam a wild watercourse, was staggering. She grasped none of the science, the inexorable force of water leveling itself, the disaster she'd invited upon her own head. She believed she'd triumphed, humbled the old veteran. In truth, she'd ignited her own downfall. If you've ever tangled with an HOA that left you steaming, stick around. You'll savor the payoff. Let me rewind to how this feud ignited, because this wasn't Susan's opening salvo against my sanctuary. It was her grandest blunder. I snapped up this land a year after my wife Margaret passed. The hush of the woods, the rustle of leaves, the murmur of the water. It was my balm. The place sat at the tail end of a twisting lane, a budding estate park. My 5 acres were thick with trees, the stream winding through like a vein before nicking the rear edge of the next lot. Susan's, the HOA's new overlord. My residence was tucked back on a gentle slope, a bespoke design I drafted. Elevated foundation, bolstered by a web of perforated pipes and sculpted channels that any builder would envy. I knew the floods came with the seasons. The stream fed a broader basin, swelling in spring rains and summer squalls, overflowing into my flood-prone meadow. My ground soaked it up like a blotter, easing it out gradually, shielding homes below. Nature's flawless setup, one I honored. Susan's place? A cookie-cutter tract house plunked in the subdivision's dip, a runoff magnet from multiple sides. A lousy build spot, no doubt a bargain for the builder. Her quarter-acre boasted pesticide-laced sod, a bean-shaped pool, and a prize rose patch she bragged about endlessly. From day one, she hounded me. First citation, unauthorized greenery, my native wildflowers over grass. Second, mailbox hue, deep green versus mandated tan. Third, gripe over the creek frogs' evening chorus. Each time, I'd fire back a courteous certified note, invoking the bylaws carve-out for lots over 2 acres or state wildlife protections. I stayed civil, precise, and spot on. That galled her most. She hated that I outmastered her own playbook, backed by my know-how. The stream became her obsession. She loathed its untidiness, its bugs invading her perfection. She ranted it tanked her home's value, posed dangers, marred the view. Her election bid hinged on civilizing the fringe wilderness, code for my turf. Victory in hand, I sensed the storm brewing. The trigger? A juvenile beaver wandered from the woods, erecting a mini dam upstream. A marvel of instinct. It nudged the water up a tad. My setup shrugged it off, but her backyard segment widened. She flipped. She bombarded animal services, cops, even the state house. Demanded I evict my pest. I clarified. Beavers are shielded, need permits to move. Besides, it wasn't mine. That's when she pivoted. No beaver removal? Eliminate the water. Her twisted reasoning. She requisitioned Sandbags, likely on HOA dime, and had laborers stack her folly at our line. She preened like she'd brokered world peace. She'd misjudged her foe. Water doesn't yield to bullies. She stood square in physics way. I didn't bicker or dismantle. I nodded curtly, pivoted, and retreated to my house, the literal and moral summit. Indoors, rage simmered, but I gazed from my den's broad pane. The blemish on the vista, water already ponding, a glassy trap. Upstream, flow persisted, relentless. I breathed deep, military mantra. Evaluate, strategize, execute. No knee-jerks. Phone out, weather app. My pulse quickened darkly. A Gulf-born front barreling in, storms in 48 hours. 3 to 5 inches, spots up to 7. A major event. I dubbed it reckoning. She'd timed her barrier for summer's drought. Clueless to the stream's fury. I'd pored over century flood charts for this drainage. I foresaw the deluge. Time ticked. I had under 2 days to forge an ironclad defense, pinning blame unshakably on her. From my files, USGS topo maps, surveys, my blueprints. Spread out, contours crystal. My elevation, 450 feet. Stream bed, 435. Susan's downstream. Slab at 438, basement at 430, 5 feet under the channel. The porous bed had drained the zone dry. Now sealed, water would infiltrate, hunt the nadir, her cellar. Next, state enviro docks. I'd vetted pre-build. Perennial protected stream. Clean Water Act, 404 bands, Phil Sands Core permit, my X unit. State tougher. Impact studies mandatory. Her wall? Felony level, fines stacking daily. She'd armed me with dynamite. I composed a certified missive, a velvet-gloved hammer. Notified violation, warned flood peril to her property, mine prepped, demanded takedown, disclaimed liability. Printed duplicates, one mailed certified, one hand-delivered. She lounged on her veranda, tea in hand, reveling. I strode up, extended it. Your copy, Susan. On your dam. Read closely. She grabbed it, sneered. Bluffing again, Captain? Not scared. Not fear, I said, departing. Smarts. Big difference. Her dismissal? Ideal. Hubris her downfall. She'd stepped into the snare, latched it herself. Legal base set. Next, proof. Army axiom. Undocumented. Non-existent. I'd build an unbreakable chain. Garage. Old recon gear. 3 HD cams, weather-sealed, motion-triggered, night vision, lapse mode. Positioned. Tree-high panorama, creek, wall, her house. Fence close-up on pooling with yardstick scale. Border angle on her basement wells. Drain-like funnels to her foundation. Star witness. Cams rolling, phase 3. Intel. Susan's abrasiveness bred foes. I'd expose her tyranny pattern. Started with neighbor Robert Finley, retired number cruncher, buffing irons. He balked at HOA talk, blood pressure, but widened eyes at the damn tail. Madwoman? Flood zone. He spilled. $100 bird feeder fine. Vermin lure, really seeds on her grass. $50 hose visibility. Clipboard patrols like a warden. Pattern emerged. Next, Elena Martinez, young mom watering blooms. Demeanor soured at HOA. Basketball hoop? Yep. 3 warnings, permanent fixture. Portable, kids heartbroken, stored away, fines looming. Similar woes elsewhere. Overdue decor fines, early trash bins, driveway fissures. Petty despotism, documented threats. Key ally. Lisa Harlan, paralegal across from Susan. Door opened. Creek blockade? Saw it. Researched statutes. Relief. Her office. Tomes Susan dossier. 2 years abuses, complaints galore. Bylaws breached on harassment. Process. Funds. But this? Criminal. She flagged indemnification. Shields officers accept gross negligence, willful acts, law breaks. Her shield? Riddled. Flood hits. Insurers scoff at my letter regs. Team formed. Engineer, legal eagle, proof, statutes. Rain loomed. Sky bruised late next day. Air thick. Birds hushed. Eerie yellow glow. Showtime. Cams checked. Drains cleared. My fortress held. Coffee poured. Den share claimed. Wall pond. Her roof in sight. Drops pelted. Then torrent unleashed. Roaring sheets. Wind-lashed trees. Lightning strobes. Thunderbooms. Textbook alive. Pool doubled in minutes. Banks engulfed. Laps caught rise. 6 inches. 12. 18 midwall. Susan absent. Smug indoors. Blind to her bomb. My land aced it. Channels raced runoff away. Pipes sipped threats. Bone dry. Drama at line. Water crested. Wall held. Then lateral push. Soil slurried. Pregnant with surge. Trickle escaped right. Through her petunias. Stream to flood. New river birthed. Skirted wall. Contoured right to her wells. Lawn bogged. Wells brimmed. Covers bobbed off. Siding darkened. Seepage. Window bowed. Popped. Vortex drained. Cascade into basement. Coffee sip. Triumph. Hour more. Spillway channeled creek to her home. She contained it indoors. Water prevails. Dawn drizzle unveiled ruin. My turf wet but solid. Creek flowed via detour. Susan's. Mud wasteland. Trench to shattered window. Gurgle ongoing. Textbook karma. Shriek pierced air. She slogged over. Mud cake magenta. Rage twisted. You rerouted it. Sabotage. Cops. Lawsuit. I sipped leisurely. Tirade spent. I countered softly. No, Susan. You're doing. On tape. Pallor hit. What? HD from 3 views. Your wall. Rise. Diversion to your basement. Plus warning letter. Gesture to wreckage. Your actions against advice illegal. She gaped, fury ebbing to dread. Cops arrived. Her hysterics. Trenches dug covertly. Officer heard, then my demo. Videos, maps, hydrology plane. Her wall caused it. Lowest point. Nodded. Civil. Her fault. Enviro breach maybe. Card given departed. Susan frozen in sludge. Power shattered. Battle won. War on. Dismantle her regime. Called Lisa. Events relayed. Game changer. Self-sabotage proven. Offensive. 3 fronts. Afternoon. DQ packet. Vids, maps, statutes, affidavit, police report. Arrow launched. Insurance. Lisa's lethal note to HOA carrier. Misconduct alert. Warning exhibit. Bylaws voiding shield. Fraud hint if she claims. Copied board. Liability bomb. Board assault. Petition for emergency meet. 10% owners. Door knocked. Led with their gripes. Hoop family. End abuse. Feeder guy halt harassment. 30 signatures fast. Agenda. No confidence vote. Negligence, violations, risks. Pieces moved. Susan wallowed. Restoration vans pumped gallons. Hauled sodden junk. Bills astronomical. Claims doomed. Flood exclusions. Self-caused. 5 days. DQ's Tom Baird arrived. Clipboard mine. Toured. Wall kicked. Unreal. 30 years. Stupidity astounds. Class 1 stream. Trout habitat. $10,000 per day base. Who's the engineer? Susan. Short laugh. Contained? She's about to be. Serve her. Defensive to slumped. Public. Neighbors gawked. Her villain's spin crumbled. Later. Michael Hayes, insurer. Thanks for docs. Claim denied. Intentional illegality. Policy at risk from her. Kill blow. Meeting. Packed hall. Tension thick. I presented. Slides. My haven. Stream. Wall gasp. Letter. Then pattern. Empty feeder. Bear drive. Fines galore. Lisa. DQ fines. Claim denial. Uninsurable risk. Vote. 58-3. Deposed. After. She deflated. Board elected Lisa interim. Apologies. Fines voided. Cheers. DQ. My remediation plan. Sandbags gone. Banks restored. Channel filled. Fines cut to $5,000. $50 per house assessment. Bully's toll, lesson in vigilance. Susan, claim denied, intentional flow alter. $50,000 to $70,000 out of pocket. HOA insures suitor for costs, bad faith. Walls closed. For sale sign. Quick flip, huge loss. Moving day, sour glance my way, creek free. I nodded, inevitability. She drove off, erased. I lingered, waters babble eternal. Obstacle met, path found. Rodriguez kids hooped at hoop. Finley's feeder gleamed. Healing. Fight beyond stream. Rules for order, not vendettas. Expertise over ignorance. Community soul reclaimed. Water leveled, justice too. Seasons shifted. Autumn blaze, restoration pristine. Neighborhood lighter. HOA sensible. Open forums, bylaws revamped. No tin boxes, kid gear exempt. Barbecue. Chili, tag, bird chats. I chaired revisions. Native plants encouraged. Sense of belonging bloomed. My shift, from recluse to respected. Thanks not just for ousting, for voice reminder. One prepared soul beats tyrants. Flippers sold. Young family. Husband Brian, plumber. Lucky Creek. Kids Lador. Heard tales, sandbags, flood. Legendary. Nice work. Laugh shared, physics fans. Winter snow. Stream ribbon on, steam rising. Den view peace. Fight distant chapter. Lessons. Army skills, life tools. Community ecosystem needs nurture. Nature unbeatable. Respected. Water seeks level, patient, unyielding to pride. Dispensing justice slow. Threat met, peace restored, not mine alone. Shared. Play sounds, fence talks, waters flow. Uncontained forever. What do you think? Share in the comments, especially on violence and injustice in life. Take a stand. Voice your views. Have you faced a bully? How'd you handle it? Let's discuss.